Hi, I'm Devin, and today we're discussing how to start a bullet journal. I started bullet journaling because I was looking for a more succinct way to kind of centralize all of my life, because I already kept a dozen lists around and different kinds of journals, and so a bullet journal offered a perfect opportunity to just pull all of those elements into one. I think people approach bullet journaling and they get very intimidated because there's a lot of sets and a lot of kits that you can buy. Some people like to get really artistic with their bullet journal. It's just all about establishing what you really need in a journal and an organizer. It's just a fun way to stay organized. However, when you get started, it can be super intimidating. I would just say, write down, I'm such a Capricorn, I'm like, make yourself a list. But seriously, make a list of what you want to get organized with, and that's kind of how you create your bullet journal. It doesn't need to follow anybody else's bullet journal online. This is showing different kinds of journals that work. I use specifically a dotted journal. You always want to start with an index because this is how you kind of keep track of where everything is in your bullet journal. Most bullet journals have like a bookmark that's attached to the spine, so you can also just use that as well. So yeah, don't be afraid to be fancy. You can be fancy if you want. You can write in cursive if that's your thing. I like to draw vines when I'm bored. I'm not a very artistic person, but if that's in you, girl, let it shine in your bullet journal. Everyone has their little bullet points in a bullet journal. Like a bullet point means that's something that is a number on your list. X obviously means that you're Xing it out. Then if you need to push a task back, you do the greater than or less than sign. But again, like it doesn't really matter because it's your bullet journal. I think sometimes people get obsessed with the idea of this bullet journal being something that other people are gonna look at. But honestly, I only look at my bullet journal, so you really don't need to make it pleasing except for yourself. Yep, so those are the future logs. I have a future log, it's kind of like your month where you kind of plan. I definitely recommend having a note page where you can just jot down notes. I use my note page to jot down like my finances and all the math that I need, but you can use it for a grocery list, all that good stuff, reminders. Milk, eggs, and bread, don't forget. Another great thing for a bullet journal is you can write lists of things that you want to do. It might not be something necessarily you need for like your everyday life, but like if you're like, oh yeah, I want to read that book that so-and-so mentioned, create yourself a nice little book list. And then at the end of the year, you can always go back and figure out how much you've read. It's kind of cool. Yes, a habit tracker. Girl, you need to track your habits. So I definitely have a habit tracker for how often I go to the gym, how often I, take a yoga class, how often I drink, how many days I go to bed before 11 o'clock. It's just good to know about these things. Keeping track. That way you have receipts. It's always important to have receipts, That way if like you're ever pulled into a court of law and someone's like, what were you doing at 7:30 on Wednesday the 4th? You can be like, I was meditating. You can check my habit tracker. Expenses tracker, super important. If you just like to whip out your plastic all the time, you can't be doing that. You need to make sure that you write this stuff down. If you're a person who can't draw like me, you can find these great cute little stencils on Amazon, and you can use stencils to kind of trace. And it's very relaxing. I love organizing my life. It makes me feel like I'm on top of it all. Don't be afraid to be creative. Let your colors show, girlfriend. And that is a bullet journal. So here's my bullet journal. I am pretty lost without her. She has, my months at the top. Where I do a lot of work is in the days. And then I keep a nice tracker. But yeah, it's a great way to make sure that I stay on top of my because there's so much stuff in the world. And I gotta know how I'm gonna stay on top of it. Bullet journaling has changed my life because it takes the guesswork out of my day. So typically when I come in, I just write down everything that's on my mind, and then I prioritize on the list. And then that way I know that like I'm never in a situation where I'm like thinking, oh, I have to make sure I do this. And then I'm stressed about remembering to do that thing. No, now I just write in my bullet journal and I don't have to stress. Like I said, with bullet journaling, it's all about what you need from a journal. You don't have to really look at what anyone else has done. And I would just start out with the bare minimum, and then maybe like I buy one notebook and maybe a set of pens, and then that's it. That's all you need to worry about. And also, once you get it under your belt, like it's a habit. So it takes 30 days to kind of form a habit. Once you get used to it, you'll never want to be without it, I promise. Okay, well, according to my bullet journal, I got a meeting soon, so I gotta get out of here. So, bye guys, good luck.